Hello, darling. Come in, come in.
Howdy, stranger.
Spiritually Rogue podcast, weekly with Braxton and April Roane. When the world goes crazy, it's time to go rogue. Sundays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going where we've never gone before, and we're taking you with us.
Oh my God!
Let's go rogue.
3, 2,
Incoming!
1, 0.
We're on a mission from God.
Put your ear to the speaker.
Crank it up. It'll knock your socks off. And now, this.
Hello. This
Hello.
is pretty exciting.
It is. It's been a minute, hasn't it, babe?
It is. I have people texting me and I'm like, I can't do that right now.
We'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yes. So this is super exciting. First of all, to be back here doing something like this with you, because it's been quite a long time.
It has. We've been through some wild rides this last couple of years, I guess you could say.
Some spiritual stuff. I just thought it was the first year of marriage, but whatever. Hello, my Tina. And then we got Howie in the house. I'm going to have sound effects at the next show. So just so you know.
Yeah.
Howie, thank you so much for sharing our show. We are really excited to do this. I took tonight off to give you guys the whole night. We really appreciate your support.
We really do. No, we appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the name. You know, we sat here thinking, well, we don't want to do what we did before because we've changed.
A lot has changed.
And
the world has changed.
We've changed a lot. And I've never conformed well, ever. So I love the name Rogue because that's kind of me. Aries, Polish, Italian, Irish, right? Rogue. Go. I mean, it is what it is, a fire sign.
Yeah, here I am. I'm Irish, and I thought I had a lot of Native American Indian, but apparently not.
No.
So Irish and English and a little bit of everything, I think. I think we all are.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yes, but it was about being rogue, spiritually rogue.
Oh,
like,
I get it. We had to get spiritually rogue.
we sure did.
We did.
Yes. And so we came up with the name Spiritually Rogue because if we keep doing it the way we always did, we're always going to get what we've always gotten.
So you have to change things up to get a different outcome.
Yes, you're talking real smooth tonight.
That's
Like you've lowered an octave and you're like very smooth.
really.
Yes, my eyes are watering.
Well, we'll see if Edward comes out tonight.
Edward. Oh, I love Edward. So here we are, Spiritually Rogue. I want to thank all the people that are jumping on watching. Howie Odell with the Riff Network is on. So we want to thank you guys. And Tina, like I said, it's great to see you on here again. But we wanted to come together. What was this? Almost 6 years ago. We started a radio show because we had both experience with previous radio.
Yeah.
I had started a radio show years ago called The Movement Within Radio that was actually picked up on CBS Radio, New Sky Radio. And so when we met, we were already doing this kind of stuff with media.
We just kind of merged.
Yes, there's Tammy.
We merged in so many ways.
We did
pretty
merge.
quickly.
Lots of merging.
We did the accelerated path.
We did do the accelerated path. Yes, we did like 2 fire signs, typically, right?
Oh yeah.
But I want to stay focused. We don't focus well because I
Well,
think we're both spiritually ADD.
Yes, we are.
spiritually, ADD is a thing. It is. So many of us are so sensitive to energy that anything can come up. And I think it's so nice to be distracted sometimes right now. So yes, you and I go woo, 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 way off.
Well, speaking of going off last night and having a good time, we did have a great day yesterday at History, Haunts, and Legends in Jefferson.
Oh, we did. Oh, we so did.
Oh, wow, that was a cool experience. Watching healing all day long, it's not a bad gig.
No, it really wasn't. So if people, I was going to upload the video, we will for next time, but it's a really cool event that happens twice a year in Jefferson, Texas, East Texas. Honesty in this will bring the masses of truth, of course. So my whole point with me being raised rogue is that I think all of us being rogue at this point is what's needed. And I don't mean rogue as in riot rogue.
Don't go crazy. We're
No,
just
no.
talking about, sometimes we have to think outside the box
Yeah.
when the world changes. And everything has changed. Business has changed. The way things are handled has changed. So we have to kind of change and make changes to adapt and roll with it, because it's not going to go back to the way it was, I don't believe.
It's not. I mean, it's not. Our world has changed. That's why it says when the world goes crazy, it's time to go rogue. Well said, Brooks. I missed the sound effects. Like I have to have that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's coming.
Okay.
Tammy, I love you. It's so good to see you on here. I know I said that earlier, but I just wanted to swing back around again. Yes, Braxton does have this way with, and because of his accent, I make him speak over and over and over and over again. So literally, say finger.
Finger.
Fanger. Fanger. It's very cowboy cute. All right. So going where we've never been before, I have no problem holding space for spirit. When I was much younger, I thought it was just that I saw the light and I knew everything. But that is not the case at all. When we hold space intuitively, it spirit will speak. That's the light work. And I love going where the light is leading me. It doesn't mean it's comfortable, and it doesn't mean I'm always welcomed. So many people, they're like, what does it mean to be, to do what you're doing? Well, it's not always easy. Sometimes where the light is needed most, you're not going to be welcome the most. So doing this show right now, timely, divinely, is super exciting. And so being here with everybody and kicking this off this way is pretty, I keep saying exciting, but it is, it gives me a platform and a soapbox and arm candy to do what I need to do. Wouldn't miss you. Oh, yes, love the accent. So, Braxton, could you be the next announcer for whatever is coming next? Just announce it. Please.
What would that be?
I don't know. You're
Well-
being very soft-spoken tonight.
Well, I don't want to yell because I'm not used to a microphone. I'm used to just the laptop lovely sound that
Yes.
has been in the past. So what I was wanting to talk about was how amazing yesterday was because
you.
of the healing that I witnessed yesterday. And it wasn't a planned thing. God doesn't let you in on his plan all the time. It just kind of happens. So you just have to go with it. We had an event we attended yesterday called History, Haunts, and Legends, and April did readings at the table. And then she led a class. It was on intuition, how to your
Yes.
intuitive
Intuitively you, the intuitive you.
There you go.
Yes.
So she had, a few people in her class, and then people were coming to the table for readings, and all day long she was reading people. And that takes a lot of energy. But she said, you know what? I kind of want to do the night thing too. And Jody had asked us if we wanted to kind of watch over this location that we really can't investigate at. It's kind of hard to do a public investigation and really get solid evidence.
But explain to them what the event is.
The event is History, Haunts, and Legends. It's every 6 months in Jefferson, Texas, which is Bigfoot country and UFOs, kind of, little reports of stuff like that, but mainly Bigfoot and paranormal. But there was all kinds of people there, speakers. We had great speakers all day long. And then in the nighttime, after they have a dinner break, they have locations within Jefferson that you can go to for 40 minutes each time, and then you have a couple minutes to change to your next location. And at every other location, they were actually setting up equipment and kind of doing a regular investigation that you would do. It is hard to do a public investigation because of the time. And so if things happen, they have to pop pretty quickly. But we were at a location that actually they just opened back up, and we didn't know anything about it. I've been to Jefferson for years, and I've never heard of Haywood House. Never.
Mm-mm.
It was never on the investigate. My team never hosted anything there. We used to host and, have people run through while we were there watching the property, and then they would go to their next location. That was what my team did. Well, it's just me and April really now. So we
What's
do
my name? April.
So what we do is we decided we were going to watch over the Haywood House, which is an active restaurant, and it is absolutely beautiful. But we didn't know anything about it. I read over it, but ADD, I don't really retain a whole lot of information, so that's why I don't read books, because it's kind of a waste of my time. More visual type guy, but what would happen was these groups were rolling in every 40 minutes, and they would get themselves they had a little ticket for a drink or whatever, and they made special drinks for the event. And then when they got their drinks, April would come in, and the stuff she was picking up, she didn't even know anything about it. She didn't never heard of it. She didn't know any of the history. She didn't want to. That's
No.
just not ethical, and she don't play that.
Mm-mm.
So when
It's karmic.
So the Jody who runs the event, okay, she does also the ghost tours in Jefferson. You have to check them out on Friday and Saturday nights. She's great. But anyway, she was there witnessing this whole thing, and they've never really had a spiritual medium, psychic, do this kind of thing. This is a first. April came in and was picking up on stuff, and she got this name, Frank. You want to tell the story, baby?
I should. I was going to kind of go live on the Facebook page because it
Well.
won't connect. Well, my techie person was never
Yeah, we didn't get
here or
here.
hired or
Yeah.
exists yet. So,
So
you're
go ahead
cute.
and tell them what you did, because it was amazing.
That's amazing. So, a lot of the people that have gone to some paranormal events, you pay a certain amount and you go in the evening and you investigate the location. Sometimes you do it with celebrities or with a paranormal group. And this was really cool because, as Braxton said, this was multiple locations. The town of Jefferson, Texas is old. It is documented and verifiably. I know people go, how can you verify paranormal? Anywho, Jefferson, Texas, extremely active, multiple locations. Presidents have stayed there. They've been on multiple very well-known ghost shows on television.
Yeah.
So I'm new to Texas, as most of you know. I'm a South Florida girl. So I am new to this paranormal, this part of history, which is fascinating to me because I've done the Deering State quite a lot. And after, you go through the Flagler history of Florida, it's so cool to branch off and
Gulfstream.
Gulfstream, right? Lake Worth, War Party,
The Riddle
Paranormal.
House.
Whoa.
I mean, come on.
The Riddle House, yes. Pretty great stuff. We both were blessed to do the Tampa Theater. Anywho, this place, it's fascinating because going into these environments, I get to open myself up, and there are ways I do that. It's not like I just run in and play, but I open myself up correctly. And I hear stories, people's stories, those that are there, layers of time, a lot of the stuff not documented. However, will be verified right there. And last night was proof of that. I went into the room, and so the group started to come in, and you do 40 minutes in each spot. So the first group that came in, I'm still nervous. What, 13 years, and I still get sweaty palms before talking in front of people.
Well, even when you're reading, you get your temperature goes up and you start sweating because you're vibrating at a higher level.
Well, yeah, I do. That's so embarrassing, and I'm sure some of you who are sensitive to energy.
Tyler Henry, that little guy that does readings, he sweats too.
Oh my God.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just
And I
that's
get
how
nervous
spirit
energy.
Yeah.
So if you're watching the videos from last night, by the end of the night, I'm like, I'll do this. And I know it is embarrassing, but man, spirit's working through me. So I was standing there, and these people are coming, and I don't do the equipment. I am the equipment. So I like to bring people into an active location by introducing them truly to their natural abilities. You're the best tool in your arsenal. So I'm going into the stuff I'm picking up, and clairvoyant, clear seeing, I see FRANK. And I'm like, okay, each of us get messages and we don't all pay attention. Most of us are like, that's weird. And then I see the cover of Fred Claus, the movie. Fred Claus.
It's, what do you call that? Psychic charades?
Yes, it's like it is. It really is, because it's very symbolic to me. And I don't always hear, but I will see. And I always feel like spirit's doing like a Hawaiian story with me. But
Sure.
with Fred Claus, that clearly told me it wasn't Frank, it was Fred. And when I said that out loud, Jody was recording me with this big group of people, and she almost flew backwards.
Well, normally, just so you know, and like I said, HHL is what we call it for short, for years. And actually, Jody gave me my first spot speaking at a Paracon. She was the first person to have faith in me that I could actually do it. And it was pretty cool, because that's when I met Shayla and Diane and helped all them. But anywho, normally she's not at the locations. She kind of sees over everything, but she doesn't stay there. Like, she doesn't stay for the whole thing. And after this happened, I looked over, I was across the room, and I looked over at Jody, and she's recording, and she went, whoa, what? Like, she could not, she goes, okay. She was trying so hard when she was getting stuff not to bust out the history, because as she was giving the people the history that were in the groups, we were in a whole nother part of the
I didn't want
deal.
to hear.
No, she didn't want to know anything. Like, it's best to go in cold anyway.
Like I do with your readings, right? So spirit showed up last night in more ways than one.
Oh, wow. So that group got blown away. Then the second group, you got something different with the second group, and it was something about the building wasn't complete. Like,
it was bigger than it was.
It wasn't all there now. It was, something was missing. And and then I think you either the third group, you got the horses where you could hear them like whinnying, will you whinny for me, please? I want to hear her whinny.
I just get a kick out of the spirit stuff, because we've got to move past the shock and awe. I will explain it, because it was clairaudience. So we move past the shock and awe. Okay, you just got evidence. Now what? Now what? So part of that evidence was, as I'm in front of these people, I feel like I'm bleeding, spiritual, because it's stuff that's coming. There's a lot of pressure when a whole room of people are looking at you, and they're like,
going, produce something.
So tell me what's going on here with the ghosts. And I was smelling fire. And then I could hear literally anyway. So and it was a horse, but it was a presence of a horse. It was a horse outside, and it was
her whinny.
Large. It was much larger than,
it's almost like what you're describing to me, larger than a regular like quarter horse in the pastures in Texas that you see on a regular. That was like more of a Clydesdale size horse, like a big boy horse.
Yes. And that's why I said these must be worker horses, because the Texas, listen, I hear it all the time. Duh, you're in Texas, you're going to see a horse. Duh, it's an old building. It probably burned.
Everything is bigger in Texas. I told you when we got before we even moved
Well,
here. I told you that.
these horses were not Texas horses, and the owner of the hotel of the restaurant
I love you.
was amazing because he literally was like turned around, and there was this beautiful, huge painting.
And they had the lights off, so you really couldn't even see the painting either. I mean, not really, until
No.
he flipped the lights on top of it. And we're like, what?
And I'm facing the group of people, and I come in, I do my thing, and then I leave, and then they go to the next location. So those were actually horses that they brought over, and this painting was old. It looked like it came from the Renaissance period, in a castle somewhere. But little did I know that those horses were present and showing me, and at one point
There was
was
a livery stable.
a livery stable right there. So it was beautiful because the location provided. Some of it was residual, some of it was intelligent information.
Well, hell, before we even went, you were getting stuff like that little girl.
Well, yes, that was
And you got
sweet.
validation that that little girl is there from the owner, remember?
Yeah, that she's sweet. Well, this girl, so I'm getting dressed. So, like, same thing with readings. You're next on my calendar, and I'm getting dressed, cramming food in my face, breaking cat fights, and trying to meditate in the process. But so she shows up, mind's eye, and she's a little disheveled, and she's almost just sweet, barefoot, and I could see her sweating, and having a hard time breathing. So I'm assuming it's tuberculosis. So I'm sharing this with everybody there. My fun life, thing. People just show up all the time. And it was hard to hear because they didn't have tuberculosis. It was yellow fever. So yes, Tina, they were speaking to me, and girl, you would have been crying. You would have been like, "What?" It was beautiful. But what I loved about this were all of the groups that came through, and they ranged from 6, 7 people to
16.
16 people. All of a sudden, loved ones started showing up, and people were asking questions. And then
Yeah.
it was like some guy's dad, this amazing family.
Oh, wow, yeah.
His dad showed up, and it was unstoppable.
And what was cool is his dad, like she said something about 3 years old, right? And his dad passed before he turned 3 years old. And then, so he really didn't know his dad, remember?
No,
He
and
didn't know him, but then at the end, she said, "I'm getting a Robert." He goes, "What?" And he was asking his wife, "What did she just say?" And after we were done and the time was up and they were leaving, he goes, "Hey, what name were you getting?" And she said, "Robert." And he goes, "Wow, that was my dad's name."
well,
And he was named kind of, I think, after him as well, right? Like he's not a junior, but
no,
no, it was just his dad's
that was a
name.
completely different family.
Okay.
It was neat because with each group,
I got lost in all the healing because there were so many family members coming through,
yeah.
and the people that weren't getting messages from loved ones or weren't, from you,
They were.
they were
I
like,
felt like it was a John Edward crossing over episode.
it was cool.
It was so cool, and it was so cool to be in the middle of connecting both sides of the story, literally in more ways than one. And spirit doesn't go into details. It's not like I'm never going on that ghost walk ever. It was divine. It was perfect the way it happened, and everybody that was in the room experienced part of the miracle.
Well, they experienced God coming through, because you always say it's not of me, it's coming through me.
Yeah, right.
So God was working and right in front of my eyes yesterday. So
it was
pretty
amazing.
cool.
It was amazing.
I mean, my God, I know, like when she sat still and I kept making sure she had food and water, because not like an animal or anything, but she has to have energy to do what she does.
yeah.
And I know that she had been reading people all day long. And it's like, oh my God, I can't even imagine how tired you must be. And I didn't have a nap. So Papa was tired, right? Yeah, that's what I feel like when I need a nap. You say I look like Papa when I'm tired because I hold my mouth open and I'm like, anyway.
Dear Lord.
Anyway, so I knew she was getting really tired. And after like the third group, I'm like, I can't believe you're still like getting messages my brain would be like fried completely. And she goes, it's getting there, like it's starting to hit me. But man, there was like 3 more groups after that. And
It's
every group
divine.
witnessed something really cool that how the hell is she ever going to know any of that stuff? These people are random folks just running through these buildings, and
But
it's kind of wild.
it's not from me. That's the
No.
whole point. Is I feel like I'm standing, like you're at that window of the ice cream truck, and you're giving him the money, and he's about to hand you this thing with a gumball in the bottom, and I am right there, taking that so slowly. Chariot of Fire music is playing, and I get to carry it. It's like I get to witness the receiving of something that is just a wonderful experience. And I'm not saying that all of the relationships and the people coming through, that it's wonderful and easy, but you cannot deny that spirit was present last night in that room.
Oh no, you cannot. And
So I was grateful.
I think Jody was pretty impressed. I think after you blew her socks off in the first like 40 minutes of it, she was like, oh wow. And then she just kept coming up with stuff like I smelled fire, and
Yeah, the
things
building
like
was
that
set to fire on
purpose.
purpose. So that's like, I mean, a lot of it is sad. It's not like I'm celebrating
No,
trauma. It's that
it's nice to know that
we're not alone.
we are not alone. And there's a story I think there's a story in every old building that
Yeah.
could be told. And I think it's cool that Jefferson is just full of those.
Yeah.
Everybody was excited to go to our friend Jeremy and Pam's hotel, the historic Jefferson Hotel. I mean, why not?
Right.
So much activity there. And I mean, you're with the king of paranormal equipment, Jeremy. So
Yeah.
you've got everything that you could ever want at that place. But it was just different for us because we couldn't use all that stuff. I had my periscope with me, and I had our dowsing rods, and I was ready to roll. But when you're at an active location with noise like constantly downstairs, and there's no point in even trying to do an EVP session because you're going to listen to audio and think you're going to hear something, and it's just chatter from downstairs. So an active location like that is really hard to do an investigation
Right.
the traditional way. So what we did last night, or what I
I
witnessed and she did,
Yeah. Because I didn't.
wow,
I
it's
didn't.
really cool. I like doing it that way. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't really know what to expect, other than that I was kind of leading the group and inspiring the group that was there.
Well, you were also teaching as you were
Well,
doing
I
it.
will never not teach. I will never not say this is, my big thing is listen to the words you're using when you're speaking. I feel, I hear, I know, I think. These will tell you exactly what your spiritual abilities are, and people can't use them as gifts. They're not gifts. Gifts are fun. Your spiritual abilities they will change your life amazingly, but shit gets real. So that will be the point of the show where that disclaimer pops up, that if you get offended easily and you do
Yeah.
not like words that are not,
Please don't.
yeah, because
You might not want to stick around.
this is not going to be that podcast.
I'm going to clean my language up quite a bit, actually, from my normal use every day.
Yeah.
But there could be times where I might slip. But
Yeah.
when I get passionate about something. So anyway, HHL, it's going to be happening again in November.
Yes, November 5th, Jefferson, Texas.
And so we're going to be there again, and I hope to get to do something similar like that. I mean, I'll throw out, some equipment or whatever just to see if we got any visitors, but this right here is like the best piece of my arsenal, I should say. Like all the way around.
You're sweet. Thank you.
Don't blush, baby.
It's sweet.
I'm kind of smitten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
It's funny because when we first started seeing each other, or whatever you want to call that, on Skype,
Well, we didn't meet on Skype. It
No, we
wasn't
did
like
not meet on
no.
Skype, but we would have to talk on Skype because she was in Florida and I was here in Texas,
Magical. I love it.
and we just used to stare at each other while the other one talked. So if we
Yeah.
do that,
It's great. It's being with your best
it's nice,
friend.
it's nice. 6 years in, it's pretty cool.
It is.
But anywho,
Yes. So
so we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff on this show. A lot of stuff.
and it will, if there's a teaching thing that needs to be shared, we're going to go in, we're going to go deep. We're going to be doing readings from time to time. There will be segments that are going to be brought in, and it's going to be different. This is not going to be your average at all show by far.
No, I mean, we're going to have some good news. We're going to have some fun stuff to talk about.
Yep.
We're always going to have fun because that's just who we are together
Yeah.
as a couple. But we're going to talk about serious stuff too. We're going to talk about relationship stuff. We're going to talk about world issues. Lots of stuff going on right now that, has empaths around the world right now reeling. They can't even watch TV at this
You
point.
just said the word empath. What the heck is that?
That's how we met,
I know.
woman.
For those watching, what the heck is an empath? Again, if you don't believe in spirit, first of all, you wouldn't be even clicking on this.
No,
Um,
spiritually would already run you off if you had nothing to do
Yes.
with that.
Rogue might be cool.
Yeah.
Anywho, I just lost it.
Uh-oh.
I say rogue and my brain goes,
Well, 'cause
"Rah!"
First, let's just make a little side note, just
Yes.
real quick. The reason we loved Rogue, and really thought it would be cool to use is because our friend Sheila Gay, she had a little show,
Oh, it was a great show.
and it was an
Yes.
awesome show. And April was always like once a month the psychic that did free readings on her show. And knowing Sheila, she was just the sweetest person in the world. And so when we came up with Spiritually Rogue, Rogue was part of her show name. And so we wanted to really
Yeah.
respect that and not step on any toes or do anything
Yeah.
disrespectful. So we asked for permission, just so everybody knows, from Howie and from Kirby and everybody involved in the show, if it would be okay that we used Rogue, because it's kind of an honor of Sheila too. And they said they'd be honored for us to use it. So that's a little side note as to why Rogue is kind of in
Yeah.
there too.
I miss her. We every HHL. In fact, the very first
Everyone
time I was
talks about
about to
Sheila.
finally meet this woman,
Right.
she was ready for her big pilgrimage
Yeah.
to the sky. So it is hard every time we go there, because I feel her. But I think that brings me to the bigger part of this. To sugarcoat anything. I never do and I never will.
Yeah, no. I can attest to that.
But I don't think that we live in a world today where we need sugarcoating.
No, we need to straight up facts right now.
Yeah, and if you need sugarcoating, you even know in readings with me, your guides aren't going to sugarcoat anything.
No.
Why waste time to be happy? Why waste time to get to your purpose, to feel like you are deliberately living your life? This may not have been my first marriage, but this is the first space and time where I was willing to take responsibility for behaviors that were not conducive for a healthy relationship. And he did the same. So, you think about how many years you live where you're always thinking, it's them that makes me upset. It's them. Yes, true. But we need to talk about how you behave.
Well, the common
upset.
denominator sometimes in all those things could be some of you. That's the
Correct.
thing.
Correct.
We always try to blame others, but we don't like looking at the ugly that may be laying underneath
Right.
that happen. Things happen to us all our lives.
Bad,
Bad
crappy
things,
shit.
yeah, and good things too. And sometimes, sadly enough, those bad things overshadow some good things, and it changes a person's personality. It changes a person, the way they think about things, the way they feel, the way they're protective around others.
Mhm.
But when some of that's dealt with, when you kind of look at something like, okay, so every 2 years, Remember, I told you my relationships would just fall to pieces, and I'd be like, "What's? Is it me? Is it like 2 years and it's expiration
I'm
date?
not
It's
the
out of here. I need
drama.
to remove you and get another model because I don't know. You got a lot of shit."
Mm.
So once I thought that it was me, and then I conquered almost 20 with my ex-wife, I thought, "Oh, I got this shit." No, we just didn't deal with anything.
Yeah.
This one right here, you can't get away with not dealing with stuff. It's gonna be, we're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna figure it out. So once I met her, I went toe to toe because I was like, nah, I don't need to go back in there in that ugly dark place. We can just leave that alone. But the thing is, you can only leave it alone for so long, and then it starts affecting how you react to folks and how you talk to folks and how you come across to folks, I guess.
How you receive things.
Right. And how people receive you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice now. I can say that after a lot of work,
On both parts.
oh, yeah, and a lot of changes, we're at a good spot. And it's not that I'm done working because, I mean, I had what, 50 some odd years of damage
Well,
there.
it's a choice in every moment, just like
So it
happiness.
don't go away in a month or a couple years. But when you work hard
No.
at it, it can be
Yeah,
easier dealt with.
very much so. Um, my point being, going rogue. I mean, we're
I'm
gonna.
ADD. So if I go off on something and she's still not done with it, she'll come back to it. Trust me.
Well, I do. I have to focus. Like I want to keep it going, keep it going.
See, I was doing so good.
I know, but then we stopped the list, so we got to today, and we didn't go past that.
Okay.
With this show, the timing is so perfect because that was my point. Is in order to go deeper in love, I had to be willing to go deeper in self. And so much of stuff is us intuitively knowing what's in there deeper. We don't know how to deal with the monkeys in our
Mm-mm.
circus. So some of it we keep it away. Some of it we joke around like, yay, it's in the family. Woo. I'm medicated. But
What did I used to say? It's a Roane thing.
it's a round thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that used to piss me off. Well,
And I
shit.
come by it honest would piss my mom off. Oh, that would piss her off. So.
I always say we both have a cell phone in the bottom of the ocean in Belize as we speak, and I am not kidding. No, international waters already told us. So, and that was just yesterday. No, I'm kidding. That was like 6 years ago. But nonetheless, we have to be vulnerable with ourselves, not just in relationships. But if we are here to experience the totality of our lives, so many of us know that we're not experiencing it. Isn't that enough to want to experience it? Right?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends before I moved, that I was around a lot. I think they could feel something was always triggering me to be angry or feel angry or whatever it was. And I guess body language doesn't lie, and I was having a
No.
lot of stuff going on that I hadn't dealt with. And when that happens, you kind of do get a little bit edgy. You push people away. You could intimidate people. I'm a little guy. I'm kind of pretty big.
Mhm.
So when I get mad, you can definitely tell it. And that's always been a problem in my family, period. So I always said, oh, it's just a Roan thing. I mean, it's just come by it honest, no big deal. But no, there's a point in time where you have to break that family tradition that's not always healthy
Is it true
for
for
anyway.
you?
Right.
No, I mean, if they got locked up for this, chances are it won't be good for you either.
No.
And if we're going to joke that this is fun, dad was in prison and then now I'm in prison, little Joey's in prison, we're not really getting the bigger message here. So it's important Did I cut you off?
No, no,
Okay.
no, I'm good.
It's important that we understand that this show is going to take you where you've never gone before because so much of that rogue adventure is inside.
Well, it's amazing because the transformation that's happened with me um, had a lot to do with really going into spiritually rogue areas because there was it all culminated and came to a head when I moved to Florida.
Well, because Florida will do that to anybody.
Yeah, because you watch the news, Florida
It's
people
the
lose their
the
minds.
alligators.
Yeah, well, that one guy wanted to be in swimming with the alligators. He pretty much got chewed up. But anywho,
Go find your passion and
yeah,
run
do
with
it. Just do it. But anyway, it all came to a head in Florida, and it was pretty rough. And so we decided to take a little bit
Tammy.
of a break from all of it, really,
Yeah, absolutely.
and work on faith and be strong in my faith before I ever step back into my best friend.
Like
I
in
was
those
drinking
makeup,
that like
those
with my
makeup
iced tea.
tutorials. Yeah, look at this. But I got this at the Catholic Hall. What? The white
What?
elephant. Woo. I'm kidding.
No, it's amazing.
All the
So
Catholics are laughing right now because they get that. But we travel with this, like, and this is actually not a Catholic thing. Come on, we will use ohm signs and Reiki symbols, and when you are in a world where it's energy and there is spiritual warfare going on,
yeah, that's what we went through.
none of that warfare says, if you ain't Catholic, I don't want to possess you. Think of that.
Well, the thing is, when you're at a low point and you don't deal with things in your past, and then you have stuff culminate like you lose your mom and your depression's horrible and things just aren't the way they should be, but you don't know what's really wrong. You have to delve deep sometimes and you have to really have that spirituality. And when I went through what we went through, um,
Which we'll go into at
we'll
some
go
point
into it at
in the
another
show.
show, but it really changes your view on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And because I was in that angry,
Hey, Jonathan.
irritated, whatever.
Look, everybody meet Tammy. Tammy will be a regular here. This is why I love her. She's like, yes, because that's the ego. True.
It is. And so, we went through all that, but after coming out on the other side, I should say, because with a lot of help from a lot of people,
Yes.
a lot of angels, um, I don't know, something broke within me. And I'm a lot different person than I was when I left Texas.
Well, we both, so much has happened in the last 6 years that
And
really,
not just obvious reason or
Right.
obvious, but I'm saying inside, internally, I'm totally a different person.
well,
I think you can attest to that.
you were willing to be vulnerable with yourself in lots of ways.
And be true with myself in a lot of ways.
Well,
and
and
it releases a lot of inner turmoil.
It does. And that's what the whole spiritually rogue thing is, because you are a spirit. The bigger part of your iceberg is all floaty and ethereal. So when you can accept that, then you can be who you are. You are a human being, but you are a spiritual being, unlimited, with chakras, which are spiritual body parts that I keep saying you need to work on the sacral. And I've got one too that I got to work on. And we're crammed into these very limited vehicles that have a shelf life. So that alone, I say, on our first breath, that's why so many of us cry, because we're pissed. It's like, why the delay? And we are waking up to the fact that there's more. We may not know the more and the capacity or the unlimited capacity of the more, but somehow we're headed there.
You know what I like about the more is that it means it doesn't end here. Like that's just kind of the beginning of another journey. Now, whether you come back or not, this is what you always tell people. please work out your shit here so I don't have to talk to you from the other side to your
Please.
family. Just get your shit
It's-
cleared up, like, and you're telling me this, and I'm having hell with clearing stuff up with, some of my family. So
And if you suck
it's,
at kids already, then you're
yeah,
gonna really suck trying to communicate on the other side symbolically.
yeah,
So
I wouldn't be very good.
mhm.
But, there are some things that you are going to be able to clear up on this side, and there are some things that may not be in your
Well,
control to clear
guys,
up.
so let's talk about that spiritual battle we were talking about. Here is spiritually rogue. Whoa! Osama Bin Laden has shown up to kill all American soldiers. This is the shit I'm talking about. So this is someone that's showing up on YouTube, seeing us go live. And no, I didn't have to bring it on, and he did it twice. Look at that double click, click, whoop, woo. This is the stuff that we're talking about. Why go vulnerable? Why face yourself and go through your own demons because of this shit right here? Kill American soldiers. What's the key word there? Kill, kill, kill. Go outside of you, go externally and kill. That is never, ever, ever going to be true for anyone.
Don't give him any more.
No, this is my show, and it's spiritually rogue. So if this individual could totally be a robot who's popping on, and it's this, my point is, this is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And it isn't Muslim. It's not Muslim. This is dark negative energy that is popping up in grocery stores, in schools, in healthcare. And do you see how you get uncomfortable? And that's really actually good
Well-
because truth is uncomfortable.
Well, no, I'm not uncomfortable. It pisses me off. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not.
All the stuff that's going on right now in our world. My mom raised me in such peace and love that the shit that's going on the other side, with Russia and Ukraine is killing me. Like, I can't even watch it because, I want to keep up and see what's going on. And I think Zelensky is, wow. He's just, wow, is all I got. I have
I
no
wish
other
he would
words.
run for president.
No shit. But it's like, that just breaks my heart, So all this stupid shit on,
She said it wasn't even showing up in the live chat. I just blocked him now, so it'll disappear. But
well, thank God. But sorry, so they didn't know what you were talking about.
oh,
But anyway, where was I with that? See, there we go.
woo, there it went.
hmm
I think if you're over 40, this is what happens.
It does. The engine. They say if you get over 40, your engine light comes on a lot more often.
Yeah, well, Teresa, I want people to meet Teresa. This girl's also going to be here a lot. I want people to get comfy with our regulars because this is our family. Good. Tammy saw it. She did see it.
Okay.
Yes, Teresa, true. I have to stop watching the news lately. And
Yeah,
you'll hear a lot
I
of
can't.
empaths do it. He can't.
I can't.
I have to.
It makes me so angry because I don't understand. My mom raised me in such love and peace that I don't understand. Like when September 11th happened, I had no idea that there was so much hate that one human being could spread and have other people do dirty work for them and kill innocent people that just went to work. I never will ever be able to wrap my head around that. And with what Putin is doing, it's way worse to me. I mean, it's just like watching Hitler repeat itself. Hitler repeating that time period exactly the same, except this guy's nuts and he has a button he could push and we're all screwed. So that's what I'm worried about right now. My prayers are going out to all those who are affected. The refugees, I can't believe all the people that their houses are just destroyed. They have nothing to go back to. They have nothing. And that's where my thoughts are. All this other stupid shit that goes on in America with all the drama, with the whoever's, and I'm not even giving them, I'm naming them. It's just, I don't even care about that stuff. There's so much more serious, big stuff to be concerned about than stupid shit.
This goes back, if some of you have been following the spiritual work that I do, in October, November, when Spirit said live 2022 is going to be the year of war. Most people turn this off. They turn me off. All I know is I want to be like, bitches, that was recorded. So if you want to doubt, it's not me. It's not that April's
Well,
right.
you weren't the only person that has
No.
the ability that was getting that same message. You would find stuff and be like, "Oh my God,
Right.
this
Like
guy's the same message I'm
we're
getting."
getting the same memo. And literally people
When
all
God's your
over.
boss,
Think of
He's
that.
going to send out a memo
Yes,
to all
think
His
of
light
that.
workers.
Really quickly before we go on, please
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and jingle that bell. You know I like my bells jingle. Ooh, ooh.
Okay. So
Very good,
please
babe.
subscribe. We do this not for the clicks and the likes, but the clicks and the likes actually help us be able to do this. It pays for the really cool blinking lights. All right. So yes, this show is going to go deep. We're going to go political, but we're going to go in political Republican, Democrat. We're not going liberal, conservative. We're
Left or
going
right, middle, we ain't
No.
doing none of that mess.
Nope. We're going to bring in Spirit. We're going to be spirit human, and we're going to do it live the way that we've always needed to do this.
We'll have guests from every now,
Totally.
once in a while, because I've already had requests for people to.
We've had
when you're gonna have me
Osama Bin
on?
Laden joined us this evening. I
Don't know
mean,
from where, but
amazing. The other side, clearly amazing. This is where I would put that a clap sound effect, because, guys, if I knew Osama Bin Laden would have been joining us this evening, I would have really have been prepared.
mm,
We would have had bigger lights. I would have put red on.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I would say a slap joke, but the truth is, when you're dealing with the year of war, Christina, thank you, my love, so very, very much. Please share the video. Yeah, oh, I can't do it. It's going to piss my family off. Even more reason to do it. We have to go where we haven't been before. Blame, pointing the finger, and doing it because we're scared. When you identify, people go, you don't know what you're talking about. It's war. You don't know what you're talking about. It's just politics. You don't know what you're talking about. It's business. When our world disintegrates, people go, no, there she goes again. It's negative. I'm sorry, but there have been more volcanoes and earthquakes
Oh wow.
and uncontrollable
Tornadoes.
fires in the last 2 years.
Can I share a really cool story with them before we leave?
You could, this is your show.
Okay. Well, so on a good note, because I always like to share, there's not enough good news stories out there. And it's sad, because when I was looking for good news stories, like happy stories, because we need more of that than what we're getting.
I wish I could pull it out.
So we live in East Texas, and last week we had a round of pretty serious tornadoes.
Yes.
A couple of Mondays ago. And my cousin had just moved from Waxahachie to like Ore City area. And we hadn't quite got together yet. Hadn't seen him in a little bit, but I have 190 cousins. It's kind of rough.
Literally.
So anyway, I hadn't gotten with him yet, and all of a sudden I see this news
Yes.
story. Yeah, and I watched the news story, and I'm like, oh my God, that's my freaking cousin. So what had happened was there was a lot of tornadoes that did a lot of damage, and there was a family they lived in a house, and the roof of their house was caved in, and they had gotten their car for more safety. Unfortunately, the electrical lines had fallen, and the fire department couldn't even help them get out because of the live electrical lines. Well, here comes my cousin. He had been clearing stuff, trees, whatever, to help people, drive up and down the street. He comes across his family stuck in their yard in their car with their car running. The lights were both on, and he drives in and he goes, hey, what can I help y'all do? Is there anything I can help you with? And they're like, well, we're kind of stuck. The electrical lines of the fire department, we can't get out. long story short, my cousin says, well, hold on a minute. He goes, there's 6 of y'all wanting me. He said, I'm going to ride over these lines and we'll make sure they're dead. If anybody has to die, it'll be me and not 6 of you. Not a whole lot of people would do that. I know my family has a little bit of crazy in them, but it's the right thing to do. That's the way we were raised. Like I said, I don't know personally if I would have done that, but my cousin at that moment felt it was the right thing to do, and he drove his truck over those lines, made sure it didn't go off, told the family to follow him out, and he got them out of there and into safety. So kudos to my cousin. He's really humble about it. He's like, oh man, I didn't do nothing out of what I'd normally do. But he was on the news.
Yeah.
And I want to, that's a good story. And the family's kind of adopted him as their family. They didn't know Matt from, anybody. So Matt Yates, hats off to you, cuz.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you do. And I think it's cool that we were raised to think that way, to do the right thing, help our neighbors. And that's just what you do.
And that's a really good point, because as the heat has been turned up over the last 2 years, there is more vibration. Again, you've got billions of people on one little globe, lots of people, lots of activity, more activity, lots of conflict, lots of chaos. And that is going to be and bring a lot of fear, and fear will always be the illusion. It will always create distractions. So even in the shadows, there's always going to be some good news. I know that it's really easy to want to give up on humanity right now.
No, that right there, there's so many stories like that with Gilmer and Upshur County and everybody that's dealt with these storms. It's funny, not funny, but it's cool to see how neighbors really do, even though it's been a pandemic and everybody's been 6 feet away and wearing masks and doing what they have to do. When it comes to a crisis like this, it's wild to watch how humans actually go, oh, okay, this is another human and they need help right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put the shit aside that I feel and I'm going to help these people. And that's what we need in the world. We need more of my cousin Matt.
Well, that's
Literally.
the people watching this, because all of you are lit. This shit is lit. We're living in our truth.
Right.
And when we live in our truth, we will feel good. You will feel it. You know it when you go to the store and there's a special or a really good sale on what you want, or you got free tickets to the game, or you did a meditation and you met a new guide. I know some people are like, what? That means you should be meditating. So this is going to be a really powerful year. We're going to all be distracted in more ways than one, but we have also been trained to focus.
Keep that focus.
Listen, you're like,
that's coming from somebody with ADD. Don't laugh at me.
I was going to say, you always say, babe, you're like a dog with a bone. Yeah, we got to be like a dog with a bone, with our happiness, our joy, our peace. Listen, peace is invaluable. It's invaluable. And our brothers and sisters,
they need some peace right now.
In Ukraine, people are like, well, it's Russia. Well, we don't even know what to believe on TV with the news. Why are you watching it? I don't care who you are, but there are people on the news that are burning and they're crying and they're hungry and they're scared. And there's animals running all over the globe that there's a lot of people stepping over. And if you're seeing it, if you lick it, it's yours. So, I can't do it. I'm overwhelmed. Then you can organize a group that can. Finished that book. Hold on, I'm looking. Project. Sweet. So this is going to be a big year. Our show's going to be a really cool show. I think we just crammed a lot in tonight.
Well, we're trying to give them a little sneak peek of what's going to happen.
Sneak peek. Yeah. I like it.
We are gonna have guests and we are gonna have topics. We just wanted to kind of throw out, how this is gonna go, and that we're really excited to be back on and doing a podcast.
Yes.
I was gonna say radio, but that kind of makes me sound really old.
It really does. I remember the movement within radio. Tune in to move in, and then I got all of these poop jokes in the email. So
yeah, well, I mean, when you said the movement within to me, I went, And then, you're driving down the road. Now, hopefully this doesn't offend anybody, but if you're offended this easily, I'm sorry. But she used to have spiritposse.net on the back of her car. Well, sometimes it doesn't come across as Spirit Posse when people read it.
Woo-hoo! Oh.
So I got a lot of questions about what .net that was. So anyway, it's Spirit Posse.
Posse, like a group.
So get your mind out the gutters.
Yeah, literally. Hashtag
How unfun would that be, right?
Get your mind out the gutter.
I'm not going to say it.
Well, literally, if you think about it vibrationally, that's what the internal battle is. Our minds are always in the gutter, and most of the time they're in someone else's gutter. So I'm going to take my gutter cleaner and my leaf blower, and I'm going to come to your house. No, I can't sage you. This is like people are like, okay, I'll pray on Christmas. Well, listen, the beginning at Mass, the beginning of the year, some of it's really good. It's still sacred when you're in the right space. But beginning of the year, Spirit said, in order to thrive this year, you must rely on your intuition. And then here we are like, okay, I may be spiritual after yoga. Okay, well, when the vibes start really vibing and you're like, shit, I have to click into my intuition. Is that a fear and a distraction, or is that my truth?
We're going to all get to that, aren't we?
We are.
Have to.
Yes. All right. So really quickly, I'm going to pull, or have you pull, a magic fortune out of the magic fortune basket. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you don't have your readers on.
Oh.
That's sexy.
Hold on. I do have them, though.
We got to get our eyeballs.
We don't know. Someone left these at our home, and we don't know who they belong to, but they work really well.
Okay, so Spirit says.
So the first thing says lettuce.
That's it.
I kid you
not. Lettuce what?
No,
that's lettuce in Chinese. Here's this fortune cookie is lettuce, and then this one says
2 small
jumps
are sometimes better than 1 big leap. Baby steps.
You'll find that in life, cliches really are gold. And it's true. If we have to step back a little bit and just say, okay, maybe I do need to take those extra breaths every day. Maybe I do need to slow down and meditate.
I want to tell you that little girl in the last group.
She was so cute.
She asked her, what's it like to be a medium? But when you said something about meditate when you're in the bathroom on the toilet, her face looked at her sister like, why would I do that? Oh my God. But anyway, and then she kind of giggled.
Yeah. And we're going to end with that. Each of you will have a royal experience
in the library,
in your throne. And you'll know at that moment that your source is in there with you. And at that moment, you will be able to do one of two things. You will be able to flip off your source, or
saying that's not the movement within you were really wanting to go for.
I'm not. Or you will do 3 breaths and then play your slingo, or your bowling,
or your mahjong titans,
or my slot machines. But
work it in there somewhere.
Work it in there. Breathe, because one day you will be out of body and the breath will not matter at that moment. And then, you will say, I want to do it again. Want to go breathe again with me in body? We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for coming to our show, and good night. Woo, doggy! On to the next quest. Get out of here.
Spiritually Rogue Podcast. New world, new ways, new life. Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Central. SpirituallyRogue.com.
Over now.
Get up now. Come on. Yeah.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.